Hi, welcome back to another episode of ColdstreamRodshop. I'm Derek Fraser. In this week's video, we're going to get the 40 Plymouth body ready to come off the trailer and get into the shop so I can put it on the frame. We're going to do a little bit of body work on this. We're not going to paint it or anything, but what the owner asked us to do is basically fit it on that frame. Because we put a different rear suspension in, I'm more than likely going to have to change the floor and the trunk area. I think it's going to clear the tunnel. We'll have to cut a hole for the shifter. If all of my measurements are correct, it's going to fit in there really well. We'll see. But first step is basically to get all of the crap, headliner and all that stuff and all the parts out of the body, get the trailer out of there, and then get the body off. So follow along as I struggle through to get that done. I know this looks just like previously, the chassis for the 40 Plymouth, but there's a bunch of little things we had to finish off here to get things ready to put the body on it. I'll just go over a couple of the small things. One of them was the axle vent tube there, so I just ran a hose up to the side of the frame and put one of those little jiggler valves there onto it so it would breathe. The other thing, we finally got the drive shaft in. It took 3 weeks. They don't make them locally anymore. They basically had to send the dimensions and everything away to Toronto. So that came in this morning, so we finally got that in. We've got the nuts on the flange there torqued with Loctite. We have the transmission all filled up with fluid now. The yoke is greased up properly. Went over the brake lines, made sure I had enough clamps on them to make sure nothing was loose. We bled the brakes front and back, so everything is solid there, nothing is leaking. The brake pedals and the clutch pedal, there was a little bracket that I had to make up for it. We got that done. And then the line going to the clutch master cylinder is in, it's clamped down, and then the bracket's all painted. Right. So yeah, the bracket is all painted. I did choose to put a little gusset onto it just to strengthen it up. I know it was good enough, but over time, fatigue and all that stuff, it doesn't hurt to have an extra bracket. Then a Speedo hole had to get covered up, so I found a bracket off of a C6 that I put in there. It O-ring sealed up fine, just the nut was a little offset, so that's sealed up. We're going to be using a GPS speedometer on this. I think that's about it for the little stuff we had to do and get basically prepping up to put the body on. What I'm going to have to do is I'm just getting ready to move the Roadster out. I put a large wheel on the front here. I'm going to put that Roadster over in the other building in between the other two finished cars to get it out of the way with. And then we are getting ready to take the body off of the trailer. I've got everything out of it now. Got the body on wheels on the trailer, so I'll be able to slide it off, and I've got everything out of the trailer now, out of the coupe. So I've got my funky little wheels there. I'm going to take the trailer, back it up in front of the garage, and hopefully just winch it off on the ramps. So all of this was inside of the coupe. Front fenders are over here. We just had to pull them out of the way for the time being. Right there. So all that was inside. There's a little bit of damage to it. The B-pillars are not attached to the subframes on the inside. One thing I noticed, but I think unfortunately this was dropped, I guess, by accident. So don't know if you can see down there that the B-pillar has come apart from the floor, and the floor has been pushed up some. So we got some work to do to fix this up. So anyways, hopefully I can get this off of the trailer, into the garage, jacked up, and then slide the 40 Plymouth chassis underneath it to start fitting and fixing the floor on this. So there it is, the 40 Plymouth body is in the garage. I meant to set up the time lapse for it. It was quite the comedy of errors, me trying to back the trailer up and wheel this thing into the garage. One thing I'll tell you, make sure that the ball on your truck is the same size as the ball on the trailer, because if it's not, the trailer can come off. Anyways, it did, and well, nothing was smashed, nothing crashed. I was lucky. Fortunately, she balanced in the driveway as I backed it up, and we got her in here right now. So right now, what I've done, I've got the chain falls in the front, lifting the body up. And then over in the back, I use the engine stand, and I've got it up on some, I guess, car stands or car jacks or whatever. One point of interest here was that I'm not sure, maybe somebody will know what this is. I don't know whether it's an aftermarket heater or something that came in them, but it was a kind of cool little Art Deco style heater that was inside of it. And of course, right inside there, you can see a little mouse nest. So some little critter was living in there for a little while. The fan, it turns freely on it. It looks like it could probably be restored if it's worth something, but there's no name on it or anything. So I don't know. Anyway, anybody knows what it is, let me know. So what we're going to do now, I am going to take off these front wheels here. I'm going to knock out some of the bolts that were still left in the body of the car. I did take out, there was a removable front floor pan that just unbolted and came out. Made some measurements, and the S10 transmission will fit in there. I don't have to cut anything there. The floor pan is inside of it right now. There it is, I just tipped it up. So that's not going to be an issue. I think I've got it high enough here so that I can slide the chassis underneath it. In an ideal world, probably we should have not painted the chassis before we put the body on, but the plan was only to do the chassis for this particular customer, and then he asked us to do a little bit of work on the body. Now, there's a couple of challenging points here, and I think I might have mentioned it already, but the B-pillar is pretty shot right down there. The subframe is taking some damage. I don't know if I can show from up underneath there or not. So there's a subframe there where a couple of the body mounts are, so there's gonna have to do some serious reconstruction there. The floor is a little crispy, so this will be a floor, some of the sub rails, and then a couple body mounts. Hopefully, if I can get the light onto it so you can see. The other side is a little bit of the same, but not quite as bad as the driver's side. So anyways, what we are going to do before this video is over is get the chassis underneath it and at least lower the body onto the chassis so that I can make sure that everything fits in there. So follow along, we're making progress on the 40 Plymouth. Well, here it is. This bay hasn't been clear for 9 months or for some long period of time. So the 40 Plymouth chassis is out of here and it's over there, and it is underneath the body. The body has not sat right down on it just yet because I don't have enough time to get the video up and everything else, but basically it is sitting about 5 inches off of the chassis right now. The distributor clears just as I thought it would. Just want to check for all the clearances and everything. On the inside, I don't know if the camera lady can show or not, but she will be able to show over here. The transmission, once she gets around the corner, the transmission actually, you can see there that it's going to clear the main floor. The floor pan on right here, I'll modify that to fit it eventually. And then in the back, it's clearing all of the major suspension components. I will have to cut a little bit around the new cross member that I put in here, but I kind of knew that, but it really doesn't look as though I'm going to have to modify much more. So at the moment, I'm just kind of sitting, like say 4 or 5 inches off the chassis, looking for clearance issues and everything else to anticipate what to do next. But at least right now it's in the garage and it is hovering above the chassis. And we've basically run out of time this week for a video. So I want to thank everybody for following along with us every week like we've been doing for, I guess, 1.5 years or 2 years now. But this summer, we've decided to take a bit of a break from YouTube and just enjoy the summer. Drive the cars, mow the lawn, play with the grandkids. I'm still going to be working on the cars. And another thing too, some of the work I'm going to be doing in the next 3 months is quite repetitive. Stuff that we've covered before. We will be working on the Plymouth, but I've got a bunch of 32 Ford chassis I have to work on. We've covered all that kind of stuff before, so we'll take some video along the way. I'll probably be doing a short or something every week or two to keep everybody up to date on what's going on here. Please follow us on Instagram. We'll post a few pictures on Instagram and Facebook. But we're not going to do a regular video probably until the first week of September, I would think, like we've been doing. So anyways, I really want to thank everybody for following us. It's quite flattering that so many people actually want to watch what I'm doing and ask me questions about what I'm doing. It's been great. We're not giving up. We just need to take a break. It takes a lot of time to put these videos together, and we just need a little bit of a break for a little while. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll put this video up. We're going to cover everything that we do on the Plymouth, either in shorts or in posts, so you'll be able to see what we do before the customer takes it home. But that's it for this week. Everybody go out, drive your cars, go to a car show, go to the beach, have some fun, enjoy the sun, and we'll see you in September. Everybody take care. Oh yeah, please like, share, tag, and subscribe, of course. Send me your comments, and that's it. See you in September.